everybody is doing good. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. And I am like so super excited and I can't wait to share with you guys something that is going on. My life is going to be changing big time and I'm pretty excited. It's something that I wanted to happen for a very long time. Didn't think it was going to happen really quick, but I am telling you, I'm like so super excited. So, first of all, I do want to make a couple of announcements before I tell you guys my big news. I do plan on hosting this blah. I'm getting all tongue tied already. And we just started, okay? So we're gonna do Christmas in July this year, okay? So I am trying to get all the dates together and stuff like that. So when I am ready, I will share the link for those of you guys that want to join in the Facebook group, okay? And for those of you guys that are new, welcome. I'm Jeanette from Boricua Sewing and Crafts, and usually what I do every Friday is I share a topic about embroidery. This Friday, I'm not going to do that because I just want to chit chat and hang out with you guys. And I really want to share with you something that has happened to me. And I'm pretty super duper excited. I don't know what is going on this week, but it's like everything has been like dropping on my lap. And I'm like so super excited because I have gotten so many good things that have happened. And I'm kind of like, wow. And the last announcement that, that I got this week was just like the icing on the cake. So I don't know what it is. I just feel like the universe is just pushing me in a different direction with my life. And I'm just going to go with the flow and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. So let me give you a rundown of what happened this week. Okay. So this week, the usual, right? I'm like running around doing what I usually do, getting up early in the morning, going to work, coming home, doing embroidery orders and stuff. And for some reason, I have gotten more orders this week than I usually do. So I was a little concerned about that because I was kind of like, I'm only one person and I only have so many machines. And then yet, I am getting a lot of orders coming in. But that is a good thing, right? Because when you're running an embroidery business, that is what you want, right? Because that's when you hear the crickets and you don't have any customers, then you're kind of like, like what's going on, right? But so it's not a bad thing, right? It's just that I'm just gonna have to make sure that's what I was thinking. I'm just gonna have to make sure that I pace myself and make sure I'm doing, what I'm supposed to do because I need to do self-care as well, okay? Because you guys have heard me in the past where I talked to you guys about burnout, and I did experience that. But I will tell you that having that appointment book helps a great deal, okay? Because I'm able to schedule everything. Fortunately, all the folks that had came with me this week for new orders, when I explained to them how I do things and that I need to schedule them in, they were all okay with it. So no problems there. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So let me tell you what else happened. Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard on the news. There's a lot of things going on right now in the federal government, and I am a federal government employee, and it's affecting all of us a lot. And there was, in the very beginning, there was a lot of, chaos about people losing their jobs and all that kind of stuff and everything. Well, there was an opportunity for federal employees that were eligible to retire early. Now, there was an opportunity before, but I was under the impression that I couldn't qualify for it. And I had to put in permission for it and stuff. And, there was discussion of denial, right? But I heard that I didn't hear, I actually got the official, I got approved. So I was just like, what? I'm like, I can like truly retire early and no penalty, no nothing. So I'm like really like ecstatic about it because those of you guys that have been watching me for a long time, you guys know that I have been counting down retirement, right? I always, every time, for you guys that had seen me from the very beginning, I was like, okay, I only got 2 more years to retire. Then it was like, okay, I got 2 years and 10 months to retire. I got down to like, I think now I'm at 1 year, 5 months, right? And now I don't even have to do the countdown anymore because it looks like if everything goes well, because they're still working on some paperwork, I still have to get some additional approvals. But from what I hear, everything is going to go smooth, and there is nothing that will stand by, will hamper me from actually retiring early. So I am like excited about it. I'm excited, and I will tell you, excited, and I'm also scared. I'm scared because never in my life did I ever not have a job. Okay. I've always had a job. I've always been very, very fortunate, but I have always been, in my opinion, like a go-getter, right? I'm one of those where my personality is like when I see something and it's something that I truly want, truly believe in it. I'm one of those that I just keep on it and keep on it, keep on it. I don't care how many times I fail. I will, it's what I want, right? So I'm going to get it. And I've always, people laugh because I always say one or two things going to happen. Either I'm going to get what I want, okay, I'm going to succeed, or I'm going to die trying, right? So I know one of those two things are going to be true. So I've been very, very fortunate. I love my career. I've loved every job that I've ever had. The challenges, and of course, you're gonna have your bad days where you get up and you're like, "Oh God, this for the birds," and sometimes you fight with your coworkers and you disagree with leadership and all that kind of stuff. But it happens, right? But it all happens because everybody really has the good intentions. Everybody just wants to do what's right at the end of the day. So, and sometimes I always say arguments are pretty good with coworkers because you're looking at a situation from different angles. And at the end of the day, you try to make the best choice possible. So I'm kind of excited. And then I'm like, I'm scared too, because I'm kind of like, wow, this is really life changing, right? Because now it's like, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to have to be like, it's like I have all this extra time now, right? And I know what I want to do in my time because, as you guys know, I mean, hell, look at all this that I got behind me, right? I mean, I really can dig into this right now. So I'm like super excited about it because that means now I can take this to a new chapter. And that's exactly what I want to do. And it's kind of funny because I think to myself, I was getting all these extra orders and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, like this is gonna be hard. I'm really gonna have to hustle. And I remember there had been a couple of times when I gotten so many orders that I literally only had like 1 or 2 hours of sleep. And sometimes I would catch up on my sleep on the bus ride going to the Pentagon. And people knew where I got off. So thankfully, people on the bus usually know who I am. So, or know me and knew where I worked. So whenever the bus stopped at the Pentagon, they would be like, "Hey, Jeanette, this is your stop." And they would wake me up if I felt too deep in my sleep and I didn't like wake up. So I am like so super, super excited. I'm gonna miss my job. That is for sure. I know that. I'm gonna miss my coworkers because we do have a really good time when we work together. Even though sometimes we fight and stuff, at the end of the day, we always have each other's back. And I like what I do. So I am gonna miss that aspect of it, but I am like super excited about being retired. I can like really say that I'm retired. So I'm like thinking to myself, oh my God, I could get a shirt that says retired. And you know what's like really funny? It's like I kind of like took off 2 days from work this week. Because I had some medical appointments because I figured let me get all my medical appointments done now before my last day. I don't know when my last day will officially be, but I figured let me go to the doctor, get all my medical appointments done and everything. Nothing's wrong, everything's fine. There's just some stuff I could work on, like, the doctor was kind of like, you're a little up there on the weight. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I got to lose it. But I'm excited because now that I'm retired, I can really focus on that. Like I could focus much more on my health, which is like I want to get back into the gym. I want to be able to start swimming again. I want to take those swimming lessons. that I always loved. I had to stop because I just didn't have the time to it. Now I have the time. One of the things too that I've been doing is doing a lot of research on when you are going from the workplace to a retirement life. And I've been like trying to, just try to get, learn about the different things, like what should I watch out for and stuff like that. My computer is acting up, and I hope you guys see me okay. But I've been trying to look for a lot of advice and stuff like that. One of the things that I see as a danger is that sometimes, like when you stop working, it's like people will like just not know what to do with their time. So I want to stay on a schedule. Like I always wake up at 3:30 in the morning. Now I probably won't have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning anymore. I could probably get up maybe I would say 5 or 6, but I do want to continue to wake up early in the morning, get things done, get into a routine of things. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm going to go to a gym. I'm going to sign up for classes in the morning. So that way I get up every morning. I have to get dressed. I have to have my breakfast, go to the gym, do my thing after the gym, come home, turn on my embroidery machines and work with customers and all that kind of stuff and everything. So I want to get into that routine, and I want to make sure that, I don't end up on a sofa every day, watching TV all the time and not moving. First of all, I know I'm going to get bored easy because I am one of those type of people that I like to do things. I am a busybody. I really am. I can't even like stay at my desk at work too long because it's like I'll do my work and then I'll like go to coworker and say, "Hey, what you got going on?" And I would like, talk to them about projects and all that kind of stuff. So I know that doing the embroidery, I'm really happy that I took this path because I that way I have something that I can really look forward to, and I really plan on growing this channel a lot. And that is one thing for sure. I like it struggles. I had a lot of struggle with putting out more videos for you guys. The embroidery happy hour, I liked it because it kept me on an actual schedule. This is really the first time I think that we're having an embroidery happy hour, and I really don't have a topic for you because I got so super excited about getting my approval that that's all I could think about. So I'm like super excited about it. But I will have a topic for you next week, I promise. So now I can pump out more videos for you guys because there are just so many different things in embroidery that I want to do, and show you guys, like doing lace embroidery. And I want to hit on my sergers, and I want to hit these sewing machines. I mean, I have all this equipment. I really, really want to like do different things. So I feel like now I can really focus on the channel, and I can really focus on our community and, trying to grow it better and, just share more things with you guys. So, I'm like excited and I'm scared, and then, the other thing goes through my mind was when I got my approval letter and I was at work, it was so funny because a lot of us that work together were really praying and hoping for this because we have put our time in and we worked really hard. And at the same time, I kind of looked at it as, you have your time in life. And then sometimes you do have to say goodbye because what that does is it provides an opportunity for the younger generation. Okay. It's their time now. So I feel like with everything that's going on, I can give up my spot and it could say, it can help another person that is still, in early in their career to advance and all that kind of stuff. So, but we were so freaking happy and we were in shock. Like, it was like, did you get your email? And I'm like, I got my email. And we were just so super excited. So it's like, I think me and my other 3 coworkers, 4 of us got approved. And we're like walking on air right now. We're like super like it's just like I don't think anything could happen to wipe the smiles off our faces because I'm just like, oh my God, this happened. This really happened. I was always under the impression that it wasn't going to happen. I was going to have to wait till the very end. I was just going to have to suck it up, and but the opportunity was afforded to us. So I was just like so super super happy. So but I am scared because the thing that we joked about was I was like, oh my God, guys, we're gonna be on a fixed income. You know how we like joke? And I remember telling Carlito as we were, as I was raising him as a single mother, when he would ask for stuff or want anything, I would be like, no, no, you can't have it. Why not, Mom? Well, we're on a fixed income, right? No. And we weren't really, it was just that I was so frugal, right? Because when you're a single mom, you're always saving, saving, saving. Because I kept thinking in my mind, if something goes wrong, I have to be able to make sure that me and Cardio are going to be okay. I don't have family here. It was just me and my son. That's it. My mom and dad didn't live near me. My sister didn't live near me. I didn't have any cousins or anything like that. All I had was my coworkers, myself, and my son. And me and my coworkers, we helped each other out a lot and stuff. And it's just like I'm like, wow, I'm really going to be on a fixed income, right? So if you think I was clipping coupons before, man, I'm going to start clipping them now. So if I see a sale, I'm definitely going to be letting all you guys know because, hey, I got to stretch these dollars, okay? So I'm like so super excited, okay? So what is it that I plan on doing now, like moving forward? Well, first of all, I just got the approval, right? There's still more approvals that have to go through in order for me to get my official date and stuff. And from what I understand, nothing should stand in the way. The approval should be, the real hard approval. I got it. Okay. So, now that I got that, it's just really a paper drill. And after that paper drill is finalized, then I'll have my official date. So after that, then there are a couple of things that I was thinking of doing. I am toying with the idea of purchasing another home. Not for me to move into, but actually I was thinking of it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it though, because I'm still playing with the idea. I was thinking, I was talking to Fred, right? And I was saying, what are your thoughts of me just buying a small little house and I can have that be my sewing house? It's just a place, like a place that I can go. And that way I'm not at home all the time. It's like when I get up and I have a place to go, I actually have a place to go. Hey, it's like I'm going to work, but I'm not really going to work. I'm going to another house, and that's where I can have all the sewing equipment and everything there, and I can film there and everything like that. And then that's just my little spot. And then I figured, when I kick the bucket, Cardio can inherit it, I guess, and he can make it his home if he wants to. I don't know. It's just an idea that I'm toying with. I don't want to do a brick and mortar. I'm not interested in doing warehousing and all that kind of stuff, commercial property. The reason why I was thinking of a single home, of getting just another home, and just something small and simple, is because if things, you can always rent it out. It's great for family to inherit the property too. I don't know. It's just something that I'm thinking about. I don't know if I'll do it. I'm looking at the housing market right now, and I'm looking to see. And I was thinking maybe I could just buy a little townhouse, or if I see a very little small single family, I'm not looking for anything big or fancy and stuff like that. It's just a little place where I can move everything and then free up the bedrooms at home, and it can be my little sewing house. It's just something that I've been toying with. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about Fred, and then maybe I'll look at a couple of properties. I don't know. I'll see. And if I see that it's just going to be too expensive or something like that, then hey, you know what? It was just an idea, and I can always just stay here. It's no big deal. I'm gonna be fine either way. Um, but I will tell you, it's just it's really it felt different because it was like we got the approval. I got all excited. We all got it all excited. And then we were like, oh, we're gonna be on a fixed income. And then after like 2 hours, it kind of sunk in a little bit. And I was kind of like, wow, like we're not gonna be coming here anymore. Like we're not gonna be, no more travel, no more you know, all this stuff. We don't have to worry about any of this anymore, right? It's off our hands. We did our service, and it's different. It's gonna be a different, I feel like we're back to civilization, you know. Like I can now spend time with my family. That's the first thing that came to my mind because everybody was like, "Well, Jeanette, what are you gonna do?" Like with your time because it's really funny because our careers have really became our lives. It has, it really has. So we, after the approval and stuff like that, we all decided let's go grab a cup of coffee. And it started to sink in a little bit, right? And we were looking at each other like, damn, we're not going to be working here anymore. We're going to have a different type of life now. I mean, I'm like, I have been waking up at 3:30 in the morning since 1995. That's 29 years of getting up super early in the morning, jumping in the shower, getting dressed, throwing on my suit, putting my heels in my back, and going to work and doing my thing, and then coming back, and it's just weird. So my whole life is going to really, it's going to be an adjustment for me. I know it. I know it's going to be an adjustment. I have been watching a lot of videos of where people have talked about the adjustment of going to the work and then going into retirement life, trying to listen to the things that they love doing, the things that they regret, things that I should be watching out for, stuff like that, and just trying to learn, from them, because I always say the best way to learn is not from other people's mistakes. And you guys hear me when I talk about embroidery and stuff. When I say read people's bad reviews, it's not that you want to say, oh my God, they got a bad review and gloat about it. It's not that. It's just that you want to learn from it, because you don't want to make the same mistake. And it's an easy way for you to not make those mistakes, right? So I kind of feel the same way with this, and because I'm pretty big when I'm listening to people talk about financial advice and stuff like that. I like to hear about, regrets, or mistakes, things that they wish they had done a little different. And so I learned from that. So I'm kind of doing the same thing with retirement, right? Because it is a very big life changing event. And I will say, I was ready for it, but I was mentally, I just kept telling myself, Jeanette, you just got a year and 5 months, year and 5 months, year and 5 months. I didn't know that a year and 5 months was going to be like, hey, Jeanette, it's going to happen in 2 weeks. It's going to happen. I think it might happen in 2 or 3 weeks. That's what I'm thinking. If everything goes quick, because everything is going so quickly. Everything is just going so quickly. It was like I got asked if I they told me they were going to offer early retirement. I thought I was not going to be able to qualify for it. A lot of us did not, but they came out and said, no, put in for it. Because the exceptions were going to be rare, right? So I was like, okay, I have to admit, I was thinking exceptions going to be rare. I remember all the times that I put in with stuff, and they were like, nope, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like I would want to take a day off. They'd be like, nope, can't do that. Can't do that. Where do you want to go? Can't go there. You can't go there. And I would be like, I can't do crap. I think it's so pissed, and but I feel the one thing that I did regret though, and I will say throughout the whole career, is, and my biggest regret, and it will always be something that will always fall in my mind. And I think about my dad. I might get a little teary eyed, but uh, you know, um, I was I had to work so much, you know, um, and I knew my dad was sick, and I tried to call at least once a week and all that stuff, and I tried really hard to like, just hear his voice and talk to him, FaceTime with him and stuff. And there were so many times when I wanted to go visit, and I really seriously couldn't. Um, and when his last days came, I was so angry at myself because I felt like mm, whew, okay, I wanted to spend more time with him. Oh man, oh god, but and build memories, right? But I couldn't. I really couldn't. I There were things that I needed to do at my job, and and I took an oath, and I had to do it, and his, when he was at his last stage, I was like, apologized to him about not being there. And I remember, oh, this is sad. Okay, so anyway, um, I'm retired. I really wish he was here to see this moment because there were so many times that I had picked up the phone and I talked to him about my career. And one of the things that I always knew was that my dad was really, really proud of me, and what I've done with my life. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But now that I'm retired, my mom is 87, and I don't want that with her. So it's really funny because everybody at work, ooh, getting emotional. Everybody at work was asked me right away, "What are you gonna do?" So, everybody was talking about the first thing they're gonna do, right? And I was like, "I'm gonna pack up everything and I'm going to Florida." And they were like, "You going to Florida?" And I said, "Yep." I said, because me and that old lady fight, but now that I'm retired, it's like I can drive there. I can drive there and I can spend time with my sister and I can spend time with my mom, and I don't have to be looking at the watch, and I don't have to be hooked up to my phone, and I don't have to worry about when I have to report back. I mean, I go back whenever the hell I want. I don't have a leash anymore. So that feels so freaking good. And it's like I really want to build memories with her. I think she's is she 87? You know what? I think I might have made my mother older. Damn, Nancy, how old is mom? Let me see. No, I think did she turn 85? I think she's turning 86. I think she might be turning 86. Well, anyway, she's she's 29. Okay, so let's just say that because everybody likes to say they're 29. So I still tell people I'm 29. But anyway, I want to spend time with her. I really, really do. You never know how much time you have left with your parents. You just don't know. And I want this time to count. It's important to me. Um, and I want to go down there, and I want to give Nancy a break, and I want to take mom to the grocery store, and I want to take mom to her appointments, and I want to listen to her stories, even though I don't know if she's telling the truth, or I don't know if she's telling all, or maybe she don't remember. I don't know. All I know is that every time me and my sister ask my mom to tell us something about what happened way back then, it's always a different story. It always happened a different way and with a different person. I mean, I don't know. So so me and my sister just look at her and go, "Okay, mom," because I don't know that, so I want to spend the time. One of the things that I did notice too, like when my dad died, was, when they have like the pictures of the deceased and stuff. I think there were only like it bothered and it wasn't like anybody did anything to hurt me or anything like that. It was what it was, right? It was like, they would show pictures of my dad, and my dad was with my brother-in-law, with my sister, with my niece, my nephew, and there were very, very little pictures of me and my father, but it was because I really wasn't there. I was always just there, hey dad, how you doing? How you feeling today? What you do today? How many miles do you have on your car? Because he would always ask me, how many miles you got on your car? Because he bought his car in 2016. I bought mine in 2018. So every time I call him, that was the first question. How many miles you got on your car yet? And I would ask him. And we always talk and stuff like that. And he would ask me how things were going at work and and stuff. And then sometimes I would tell him some things that were happening. I would ask him for advice and all this stuff. But when I saw the pictures and stuff, it dawned on me, and I was like, you know, I I chose this career. I did. It was a choice. I knew what I was getting into. I knew that it was going to relocate me away from family. But it's very similar, like being with military, right? So in the military, when you take that oath and and you're committed, right? You are committed, and you know that going in, and you have to move every so often, and you don't get to say where you're going to go or stuff like that. And it can be very lonely because there have been a lot of times where I wasn't there for Christmas, I wasn't there for Thanksgiving, I missed a lot of birthdays, I missed a lot of graduations, special events that my family had. And it's like, I was there by phone, and I would talk to them and all that kind of stuff, but it's not really the same, and that's something that I'll always carry with me, because it was a choice. But I do believe that my dad knew that, and I do believe that my dad understood why everything was, why it was important to me, and he understood. But I just kind of like sometimes wish that I lived closer to them. I remember when my mom and dad were retiring, I was here as single mom, and I was like trying really hard to tell them, hey, you don't want to live in Virginia? You don't want to move to Virginia? You don't want to? And mom would be like, hell no, it's too cold in Virginia. I'm going where the sun's at. So that's where they landed, which was, I was kind of like, oh, okay, um, and I understood, because I mean, you don't, they wanted to go where the sun was, and I was okay with that, hey, they're retired, it's their life, they're supposed to do what they want and enjoy, right? Um, but now it's my turn, and I feel like it's my turn, and I'm kind of like on the fence about it. It's like I feel excited because I'm excited and I'm scared. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm scared because my career was all I knew, right? I was comfortable in that. In it was a life. It was a life that I was very comfortable with. I grew accustomed to it. It's gonna be different. It's really gonna be different. It's like I don't have to get up at 3:30 in the morning. The traveling stopping. I'm It's different, I don't have to worry. I'm not, the stress is no longer there. It's just different. And now it's like I can like, I do. It's like I think I could just see it. It's like I know what I'm gonna do. I kind of already have it pictured because I already talked to my coworkers about it, because I told them, I said, I kind of know what I'm doing, because they were like, well, what about your embroidery? What about, I said, I'm gonna pack my SC 1900 in my car. I'm gonna put Mel in the car with me, and I'm driving down to Florida. I just want to go down to Florida, and I want to spend time with my mom until I get on her nerves, and she says, go away, then I guess I'll be like, okay, I'll go away. But I really, there's just so many things that I want to do with her, because I want my time with her, because it's important to me. and I want to visit my dad's grave. Um, I always kind of wished, because I always envisioned um, that I would have my retirement ceremony, and I always thought my dad would be there for that. They asked in about a retirement ceremony, and I opted out of it. And I think I did that because my dad's not around. Because that was something that I wanted him there for. So I decided not to. But I will get my flag. There, I got, I'm going to have my American flag. I'm going to buy my case for it. So I'm excited about that. You know, yeah, you know, like I said, I'm just a little sad because I kind of wish uh, he was around, so because I used to joke with him about this all the time. I used to be like, hey, Dad, I only got 5 years left and I could retire. And he would laugh. And he would go, oh, yeah. And I go, yep, 5 years left. And it was 4 and stuff. And then he would say, oh, be here before you know it. And yeah, so it's a bittersweet, I guess. Ooh, get a little choky. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know about the house. I don't know if, um, I don't know if that's something I was just thinking about because it would be like another place I can go to. And I have to tell you, I am not a rent girl. Okay. I just feel like my family in the past, in the generations past, we have paid enough rent and putting up money in other people's pockets. Okay. I believe in owning your home. Now that, because my mom and dad came here. They literally had nothing. You know, they very humble beginnings. My dad was an auto mechanic. He worked for New York City Transit Authority. My mom used to work in the kitchen in in the public schools, and we grew up in Spanish Harlem and stuff. And then I remember my mom and dad bought their first home when I was 13. And you know I rented. I did when I first moved to Virginia and I started my career. The first 2 years I rented, saved money, bought my home, my first townhome. And now and then we moved into this house. But so I look at it like renting is out of the question. Okay. I just don't, I don't want to do no more rent because I just feel like you're putting it in somebody else's pocket. So that's the whole reason why I'm thinking if I do this, I would want to buy a small little house. Okay. Now I know that you can't really like run a business, from a house because you're living in a community and stuff like that. And I got that. My thing is not to turn that house into a storefront. I will, but I felt like, I could have a lot more space, and I could like maybe do like a studio in there where I could do for the YouTube channel. And then I can do like some sewing rooms. Now have more space for me to, put some blanks if I want to do blanks, in there. And I'm not too big on the blanks. When I do the blanks, mostly my blanks are dinner napkins and kitchen towels and the baby blankets. That's about it. Okay. Usually I like the customers to buy the blanks and then bring them to me. I feel like for me that works really, really well. I know that some embroiderers, when they have their businesses, usually what they'll do is they want to offer, the product with the embroidery. And I got that because if you mess it up, you have the items to replace there. But usually what I'll do is I'll tell the customers, tell me where you got that from, because that way I can replace it. So, and if I don't feel comfortable taking an order, I just won't take it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I could probably go into and get the shirts and all that kind of stuff too. I could, but I don't know if I want to, because that next thing you know, then the house turns into like a inventory house. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be a nice little comfortable place if that's what I do. you know. So and I kind of look at it in the long term of it, that when my time comes, to get my little wings and go up to the sky, or where whatever happens to us when we pass. But I figured that would be something that my son can inherit, and then and it goes up in value. I've never known of people to really, in historically, usually real estate goes up in value. So I don't want to do like warehousing or anything like that, because all you're doing is you're paying for someone else's, you're paying for their property. And you're either, even though you're getting the use out of it, but it's not something that I'm too keen on. So I don't think it's not for me anyway. It's not something that I want to do. So I don't know. So I'm gonna look into it. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll if I do something like that, it'll probably be after I spent some time with my mom, and my mom gets sick of me and then tells me to just go away. So then, because she will do that. I remember the last time she came here, I actually enjoyed her company a lot. She was here for like 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, she kept asking me when am I going to get my airline ticket to go back home. And I was like, what? I was like, what? I don't know. Maybe she got mad because I fired her or something like that, because she was sewing the little tags on my kitchen towels. But the thing is, she was starting to sew them a little crooked, and I was kind of like, Mom, you can't be doing the crooked stuff, because, I mean, this is going to customers. So I said, you know what? Maybe you need to go to the kitchen. So I don't know. Maybe that did it. I don't know. But yeah, she was kind of like, when am I going to go back home? And I was kind of like, okay. So I think what I'll do is I'll just yeah. So I'm excited. I'm pretty excited, and I am kind of scared, because it is a fixed income now, and but because I'm no longer spending so much time, um, you know, I'm not working anymore. I can do a different kind of work, which is what I like here. Now, another idea that did come to my mind is there have been times when, through life, where I'm kind of like, man, I wish I had that job or that job. And my husband kind of laughed because I said, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think maybe I'll do part time jobs, right? Just for fun. I was thinking, maybe I'll be a waitress for 6 months, and then maybe I'll go work at a supermarket for 6 months, and maybe just go work at Walmart for 6 months, and do different stuff. Like, my coworkers kind of laughed because I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll be a bus driver. Maybe I should learn how to drive a bus. My dad used to have a bus driver's license because he was an auto mechanic for New York City Transit Authority. So whenever a bus broke down or something like that, he would have to go pick it up and drive it back to the garage. So I was thinking to myself, oh, that'd be cool. Maybe I could I could be a bus driver and stuff. But I will tell you though, that idea kind of left my head a little bit, because when I was coming home last week, the bus driver kind of got into a fight with a passenger. Well, really, because the passenger kind of started with the bus driver. Actually, I saw, and when I kind of witnessed that, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that now, because I will admit, for a little bit of, I was thinking, I don't feel too safe on this bus now, because people are, everyone's back at the office now, right? So now it's like getting on that bus. I actually get to the bus stop at 4:45, and I have to let the 5 o'clock bus go, because by the time it's leaving, it's standing room only, and people are actually standing on the bus early in the morning. That's how packed public transportation has been these last couple of weeks. Okay. And then coming home, I have to do the same thing. I stand in line, and I literally have to let 2 buses go before I'm in the front of the line. So when the bus comes, I can get a seat. Because I will tell you this, that bus ride is about an hour and 10 minutes. Your girl ain't standing. I'm up there. I'm old. My knees are starting to hurt. Maybe back in the day when I was young and I had to get to the daycare in time to pick up Carlito, yeah, I used to do it, okay, because you had no choice. because I was the drop off and the pickup. So I used to feel so bad for Cardito because I always felt like he had such a bad shaken life because it was like I got a daycare and it opened up at 5:30 in the morning. And you best believe that little boy was the first kid in that daycare and always the last one to get picked up. But let me tell you, I used to run to go get him. And, I used to feel so bad sometimes too, because sometimes I would pick him up and it was to get in the car to drive back to work. And I used to actually have like a little cot and stuff for Carlito to nap because sometimes I had to work a night shift as well. So we kind of had a little rough. I don't know how the hell I did it back then, but I just, I guess what happens is you don't think about it. Okay. Sometimes in life, you can't think about things and there is no, I'm tired. You do what you got to do and you just get it done. You don't complain about it. You don't talk about it. You just do it. And, we were fine. I mean, we made it, but I remember also taking off work every now and then. I used to take off get like one day off every 2 months. And that would be like, for me, it was like a Cardito day. So I would like go to McDonald's and I would pick up his McDonald's and I would go to his school and I would sit in the lunchroom with him and have lunch with him. And then I would actually get in the car and I would get in the line to go to the elementary school to actually pick up Cardito so that he could, have his mom pick him up. And I used to be so jealous. I remember I used to be so jealous of those stay-at-home moms because I was like, oh, they're with the kids all the time. And I couldn't do that, But, sometimes you just got to make the best of what life gives you, and just be grateful. And it's okay. It's okay, and to be honest, it builds really good memories because those moments that I showed up at the lunchroom with the McDonald's and stuff like that and sat there and had lunch with Cardito, and those days that he would like walk out of school and he would see my car there, he would be, and his eyes would just like light up like, Ma, oh man, I miss it when he was little. When he was little, he was so cute. I mean, he's handsome now and stuff, but the thing is, I'm not a cool mom anymore, okay? Because he's turning 25. So, when how it is when kids grow up and stuff like that after a while, now when I go Cardito, you get that look like, yeah, Mom, what do you want, Mom? And I'm like, ugh. Like today, we had to go to the DMV because we paid off his car. So I wanted to take my name off the title and put it in his thing. So we went to the DMV and then he was, when I see him, right, he told me his name is, I call him Cardito, okay? And everybody else calls him Carl. So we're at the DMV and I thought, let me call him Carl because he doesn't want to be called Carlito, I guess. I don't know. So when we're in the DMV, he was sitting there. I said, Carl. And then he comes up, he goes, why'd you call me Carl? You should be calling me Carlito. I'm like, the hell? So so I was like, okay. I'm like, oh my God. So, what are you going to do, right? They grow up, So he's all excited now because now he has a title all in his name. So it's his car. So it's like, so he's all super excited. And then he wasn't excited because after I gave him the title, I also gave him the little lecture saying, this is your car. You got to take care of it. You got to pay taxes. You got to do the registration. You got to do the insurance. I don't have a dog in the fight. If my name's not on that car and I'm on a fixed income. So you can't come to me with any issues because you're going to have to figure it out. I'm on a fixed income. It felt kind of good saying that, saying I'm on a fixed income and stuff. And something else that I did today too, just for fun, I went to the grocery store and there was, and it's funny, you go during the day, during the grocery store, because I took off work today, right? So I went to the grocery store and I remember my neighbor who's retired says, that what he does is he does his groceries in the middle of the week during the day because that's where everybody's at work. So it's quiet, it's peaceful, you can take your time and all that kind of stuff, right? So I figured, you know what, let me hang out at the grocery store, right? So I wanted to get some turkey ground beef, because I gotta stay away from the red meat. My cholesterol is kind of on the high end, so I gotta watch what I eat now, and I definitely have to lose some weight. So I went around, and there was this lady, right? And the first thing I did was I started looking at things, and I said, "Oh, these prices are getting up there," and she and she came out. She said, "They sure did." And she was just talking to me and stuff like that. And she goes, "It's terrible. Everything's going up. And Social Security. So it better not touch my Social Security." That's what she was telling me. So I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And then, but it was funny because I told her, I said, "I'll be retired in a couple of weeks." And she goes, "Good for you." And it was kind of funny because it's like I was like, "Oh my God, I'm hanging out with the seniors now. I'm a senior. I'm actually a senior and stuff. And I want to go play bingo. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell my mom, let's go play bingo. I want to play bingo. I want to hang out with the seniors. That's what I want to do." So yeah, and I'll probably bother her and go, "Hey, what kind of senior citizen classes are around here?" Because I'm retired now. So I'm a senior. So I'm pretty excited. I mean, it's like, wow. I'm just like, wow. And what's funny? Um, the reality hit me when I got the email and it said approved, right? I have to admit, I had to like look at it twice because I didn't think I was going to get approved at all. I didn't think it was going to happen for me. All of us didn't think. We were under the impression that because they were like, no. And we got it. I think we all did double takes. And then what was so funny was I did a bad joke to my coworkers last week. Because we were all waiting for this approval, right? And one of my coworkers was out of the office for a couple of days. And then when she came back, I decided to play a joke on her and say, "Man, the approvals came in and they only sent out the notifications to those people that got approved." And she was like, "Really?" And she was like, "You got one?" And I said, "Yeah, I got it. It came in 2 days ago and stuff." So she ran to her desk and she was looking on her email and she was like, "When did it come out?" And I was like, "Well, I got it at this time and everything." She goes, "Who did it come from?" And I said, "Oh, it came from the HR, army.mil, hr.army.mil," which that should have gave her a hint because that's not email. Um, so she was like, "Oh, okay," and she's looking and looking, and all my coworkers were looking at me, and they were like, "Well, I don't see it." And I was like, "Keep looking, keep looking. Do you have your glasses on?" And I said, "Clean your glasses. Maybe your glasses are foggy." And she was like, "I really don't see it." And I could hear like the crack in her voice, like she was like upset, like because she really wanted to go too. And my coworker looked at me, and he was kind of like, "Hey, when are you gonna tell her the truth?" And I said, "I'll tell her before I go home." And his eyes popped up, and he was like, "You're gonna go that long?" So I cracked up because of his face, right? Because he looked at me like, "Oh, how you're like, wow, you're gonna." I said, "I'll tell her when I go home." And she heard me laugh, and then when she heard me laugh, she was like, "The email didn't come in, did it?" And I was like, "No." So she was like really pissed, like she didn't want to talk to me the rest of the day because she was like, And then the next week passed by, and then the emails actually did come in, and but we all got it around the same time, right? And it was kind of like they all looked at me because they thought that maybe I did it, like to put a joke on them. And I was like, "No, no, no, that's not from me." And we and I thought they were trying to get back at me at first because I was, because people were kind of like Jeanette and her jokesters, right? So she's like, so then we kind of looked at each other, but then we looked at it again and no, it was real. And we even got up and walked over to HR and they were like, no, it's real. And and I was like, whoa. And then like we all like looked at each other like this happened. This like really literally like happened for us. Like I'm like, wow. I mean, so I'm excited. And, like I said, I have a lot of different emotions going through me right now. It's like I feel excited and then I feel like scared. Because this is a life that I've known for a long time. And now it's like I feel like it's gonna be different now. It's gonna be really, really different. But I'm excited because I'm looking forward to this difference. I mean, I was more like I was ready for it to be like in a year and a half. But like I said, the only downside is that I really wish my father was here to be, because I wanted to have the retirement ceremony. Um, and I wanted him there on the front row. That was one thing that meant everything to me. And when they were discussing that and they asked and I opted out of it because I told them no, I don't want to do it. I'll be there for my coworkers for when they have their thing, but I don't want to do it because he's not there, so um it's not going to be the same. It wasn't like how I wanted it. So I just not gonna do it. I'm sure that I'll still get my flag and all that kind of stuff and everything, but I just don't. You know, I wanted him there. That was good. That was that meant so much to me. But it's okay. It's okay. You know, I know he's watching me from up there. I know that. But that sucks. I was like, shoot, if he could have just hung in there just a little bit longer. But I know that would have been selfish because he was suffering. So it is what it is. So yeah. So guys, I know that um, you know, I promised you guys to talk about embroidery every Friday and stuff, but it's just that this happened and I'm just like in shock and happy and excited and scared and all these emotions going everywhere. All these emotions going everywhere. And yeah, and I got 4 weddings. I got 4 weddings, and that's the other thing too. I want to be able to go to Florida, and I have a lot of orders. And I know that as soon as I retire, my plan is I am going to take that appointment book and I'm going to really cross out a couple of weeks. Um, because that's one of the things I wanted to do is I was like, I want to see my mom. I really do. And I was thinking, oh my God, me and her, we could do adventures together, right? Um, I was like, she was right there in Miami. I'll just tell Nancy, oh, hell with life. Let's just get on a freaking cruise. Let's get on a boat. Even if it's just for a day or two. What the hell? Or, and I know they got that train that's from Miami going to Orlando. I think it's called the Blue Line or something like that. I'm gonna tell my mom, what the hell? Let's get on the Blue Line. Let's get on the line, and go Orlando. I have a cousin that lives in Orlando, and if she's not there, then the hell with it. We'll go to Disney. We'll do something, when we get to Orlando. Um, and I want to play bingo with her, and I know my mom likes to take long walks. And hell, I gotta lose weight anyway, right? So I'm like, I'll walk with her. I'll be like, come on, mom. This before it gets too dark or whatever, because we're not gonna walk in the hot sun, that's for sure. Because I mean, I've been to Florida in the summer, and man, it's miserable. I don't know how my sister and everybody takes it down there. I mean, I feel like you could take an egg, crack it open, put it on the sidewalk, and it will fry. I mean, it is like so super hot in July and August, you know. So I'm sure we'll have to wait for the sun to go down. But I probably will be there in July and August because I'm hoping we're at the end of April. So I am hoping that next month, within maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe, it'll be over for me. Um, I think it depends on the paperwork. There is a lot of paperwork that's involved, so there's a lot of signatures that I got to get. So, I'm thinking maybe in 2 weeks. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, but yeah, see, Marcia says she was able to retire at 57. Well, Marcia, I will be 56. But I turned 57 in July. So it's not like I'm like just turned 56. I turned 57 this July. So but yeah, I'll be done at the age of 56. I always thought I would be. I knew I was going to retire my if it was originally retiring, I would have been retiring at the age of 58. But with everything that's going on and stuff like that, they're offering people the opportunity to, because they want to make the government smaller. And you know what? I agree. I know there's changes that need to be made, and I'm in total agreement with that. I will say though, I wasn't happy with how they were doing it in the beginning. Just you know firing people left and right. I think that was kind of like inhumane. And that was disappointing to me, because there's ways to handle things, more humane way. Um, you know, uh, but hey, it happened, right? Now I feel like they kind of are slowing down and they're doing things in a little better way. And I think that this is the right step. I mean, offer people the opportunity to retire early so that they can open up those slots for those that need, really need the job because they're not old enough to leave. And then, if they have to do rifts and stuff like that, then, I mean, usually rifts are done, with there's a process, right? And the process is to be fair to everybody, So, I mean, it is what it is, right? But um, I will tell you, it thankfully, for me, this situation has worked out pretty well for me. Retiring at 56, that's big. And I am ready financially. I'm ready. I have been preparing for this, for a very long time. um, I have always been one that has always, read the articles on saving money, putting money away, investing, um, you know, living below my means. So I know that being retired, I got it. It'll now be a pension that I'll be getting and all that good stuff. Um, but I know how to manage my money, so I'll be fine. I will be fine. If I have to cut back on a couple of things, I'm okay with cutting back. And the other thing too that I kind of noticed, and this is something that me and my coworkers were talking about. When you get older in life, you kind of have, or I feel in my situation anyway, I feel like I have less expenses in a way. You already made those big purchases, right? When you're young, you don't have crap, you don't have anything in your name, right? You're just starting out in life, right? So so you have to save for the car, you gotta save for the house, and you gotta put money away, and you're not making that much, right? I remember when I first started working for the federal government. I mean, I moved up the ranks, but I started, very low, and I had to really work hard to get where I'm at today. Which I'm very proud of. Nothing was handed to me. I worked really, really hard for everything that I have. But as time goes on and as you get older and stuff like that, you do build your net worth and all that kind of stuff, and you start to accumulate the things that you need. And once you're ready to retire, I feel like that's when you can come out and say, okay, now it's time for me to just sit back and enjoy the fruits of all the hard labor, of all the days that I've worked, busted my butt in the past. Okay, that's how I feel. That's one of the things that my son, he rolls his eyes, because I tell him, I said, one thing in life is for sure. You're gonna work. You're gonna work hard. You just have to make the conscious decision of when you're gonna do that hard work. You can do it early in life, so that way you can relax when you're old. Or you can have fun when you're early, and then when you're old, you're gonna be working hard. And it's not gonna be easy. It might be a little rough because, as you get older, things kind of change. Some of us have, experienced health challenges. um you're not as energetic as you once were. Hell, I even told my husband, I said, Jesus, we have so many stairs in this house, and sometimes my knees hurt when I'm walking downstairs. But it could be too that, like, my doctor told me, I have to lose weight. I have gained quite a bit. So I'm going to focus on that. So it could be that maybe my knees are hurting because of all this extra weight that I have going on. So yeah. So one thing for sure though, with the channel, one of the things that I plan on doing is I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I am going to continue talking to you guys about embroidery. I am going to talk to you guys about running an embroidery business and stuff. I was thinking about adding some of my own stuff, like, to share with you guys what I'm doing now that I'm retired. I could add it to this channel, or I was also thinking I could start in a whole other channel about, uh, life after, life after accepting early retirement or something like that. But, I will talk about embroidery and stuff, but I'm excited and I'm scared. I don't know if I should be feeling this way, but, you know, I mean, it's change. It's a big change, and stuff. Yes, Mello is gonna get a lot of walking time. And let me tell you about Mel. Well, for those of you guys that have been watching me for quite some time know that my husband retired early in January. And he himself is starting to try to adjust to this life, right? Because it was kind of funny because first when he retired, he was kind of like, I'm gonna sleep until my eyes just pop open, you know. And I remember my mom and dad saying stuff like that, and true to his word, he is doing that. Okay. The only thing is I'm kind of like, I don't want to do that because I I like waking up in the morning because I feel like if you wake up early in the morning and you get dressed and everything, you feel refreshed, you get a lot done, right? You can get a lot of stuff done. So, and I like to always have a to-do list because, you do sometimes forget things, right? So I always like to, when I have to get something done, I always like to write it on a to-do list, and then I like to check it off as I do things during the day. So, but I want to keep that routine going. But I do want to add, like I said, the exercises and stuff. So I had stopped my membership at the gym because it just got to the point where I could not go. The time was not available, but now the time is. So I do want to get into that routine where I get up early in the morning, and go straight to the gym. I want to enjoy the time at the gym. I don't want to think about, oh my God, I have to hurry up and because in an hour I have to be somewhere or whatever. I want to enjoy that time at the gym. I want to hang out at the gym. Okay, that's what I want to get up early in the morning and I want to go. I want to take their classes, have fun at their classes, and then come home at I'm already like thinking mentally my schedule, right? Get up at 6, go to the gym around 7, maybe come home like around maybe 11 or 12. And then from 11 to 12, come home and then just run the embroidery business and stuff like that. But I want to do, it's just wow. I really, it's kind of funny because I just, how you just always like think about stuff and you're like, I want to reach this point. And I kind of feel the feeling I have right now is like the day that I bought my first home. You know, I remember when I bought my first home, I walked in and I couldn't believe I owned it. Well, I didn't really own it. The bank owned it. Okay. Um, and it was kind of like, okay. But I was so scared when I first bought that house. It was 140,000, and my mortgage was $1,300 a month. And I tell you, I wouldn't even let people put on a light. I actually went to the dollar store and bought candles because I was like, how much is the electricity bill going to be? How much is the gas bill going to be? How much is the water bill going to be? I mean, I literally had nothing. I didn't even have furniture or anything. It was just clothes and stuff like that. And I was just like, it was like, wow. And then I was going to IKEA and everything. I bought cash and it was scary, it was exciting and scary. So I kind of feel the same. That's how I kind of feel like the day I bought my very first house. Cause I was like, oh my God, that's the thing. It went through my stomach was, oh my God, I owe the bank this much money. Now I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be on a fixed income, a real fixed income. I'm just like, wow, I'm excited. I am. So, and I'm also planning on growing the Etsy shop. I want to put more products out there. I have all these designs that I've created that I just haven't had the time to stitch them out and take the pictures and put the listings on. Now I have time to do that. There's no excuse, guys. There is no excuse for more videos. There's no excuse for not doing more videos, for not expanding the Etsy shop, for you know for doing so many things that I want to do. I mean, I even have videos on my laptop that I have not had time to edit so that I could post it for you guys. Okay, it's like sometimes I have taken the videos, but I just haven't had the time to upload it because it's a lot. It is a lot, and I do all of this by myself. Um, you know, I don't have anybody to like help at all. I mean, Carlito helps with deliveries and stuff like that, but sometimes he can't help me with deliveries because he's working. So it's just, but now it's gonna be okay. It really is. I'm excited. So yeah. So wow, whole new life, guys, whole new life. And look at Erica. I see Erica just joined in, and she knows what the news is. I work with Erica. So, well, I used to work with Erica. But yeah, I'm excited. So I'm gonna go down the chat, guys. I see all these congratulations on here. I'm super excited. I got my approval. Guys. So now it's just all paperwork and everything. And yeah, I'll have more time for the channel and stuff. So like I was saying earlier, I do want to do Christmas in July. Because that was something that a lot of you guys asked for last time, and going all the way to the top. I know you guys had asked for that last year. We did it last year for the first time. It went pretty good. And I know a lot of people want to do it again this year. So as the time goes, because I like to count back, it will be Christmas in July. June will be the month that we all have to make the gifts, right? So next month in May is when I'm actually going to put the link to the gift exchange, and I'll make sure I put that on Facebook so that people can sign up. Okay. So I figured if I put the link in May, and then we have the month of June to create our incredible gifts, and then gift them in July. I figured that would be awesome. And then we can do a show and tell at the end of July. So maybe the gift exchange could probably be everybody gets their gifts maybe the middle of July, and then we'll do the embroidery happy hour show and tell at the end of July. I figured we could do that and stuff. So I'm pretty, excited and stuff. So yeah. So it's like now it's like I have all this time to spend with you guys too, and that's pretty cool. So, just so you guys know, also because I believe if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, I should be gone from my job in 2 weeks. That's what I'm thinking. 3 weeks tops, maybe. We'll see. Um, I hope that approval does goes all the way through. If not, then I'll be having another video saying how pissed off I am, guys. I would be so pissed, you guys. I would be like, you won't believe what happened to me. No. I mean, it is what it is, right? But I think it'll be fine. I think what I'll do is I do want to go to Florida, and I want to spend time with my mom. So when I'm in Florida with my mom, I will host embroidery happy hour from my mom's house, and I'll probably have her as my co-host. I know a lot of you guys like watching her. She is really funny. So I will probably do projects with her. And maybe I'll tell my sister to come as well. And, and I know she has her crafter room, so I'll probably help her with some of her shows and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I'm gonna be excited. So I won't be able to take my multi needles with me because they are kind of big, and I don't like moving them because I don't want anything to ever happen to them because they are expensive machines. But I will take my little baby that I have back there, my SC1900 with the embroidery section, and I'll try to take probably what I'll do is I'll buy a box of threads, like a whole set, brand new set, and I'll take that set of threads with me to my mom's house along with stabilizer. And I'm sure my sister has some stuff that I could probably borrow from her, but I don't want to mess up her stuff, because you know how it is, like, you have your stuff organized in a certain way. I don't want to go over there and then like be, hey, can I get your green, your blue, and everything like that, and then I mess up her thing, and stuff. So I'll probably just buy my own box of embroidery thread and stuff, and then maybe I'll do an embroidery happy hour. We can watch my mom tackle the embroidery machine and see how she does. I'll put a simple design and stuff and see if she can figure it out and stuff like that. It'll be kind of fun and everything. And Mello is around. I don't know where he is. He was looking at me earlier today. Mello, you want to say hi? Mello? Mello? Everybody's asking about Mello. Want to say hi? Look, say hi. Say hi. And now that I'm retired, I'll be spending more time with my boo-boo, with Mello. Yes. Mommy will be with you all the time. Yes. More walks, more hanging out with Abuela and seeing Titi, Nancy, and Gabby, and Herman, and everybody. How about that? You like that? Do you? I think he's thinking about it and stuff. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to say hi to everybody and stuff. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Whole new life, guys. Whole new life. Yeah, so that means I'm going to end up doing this and full time. This is going to be now my new career, right, boo-boo? And it came at a really, really good time. And I forgot to also tell you guys another thing that happened this week. I actually got contracted to do the embroidery for a golf club. So I'm going to be embroidering a lot of golf shirts, a lot of golf towels, a lot of golf bags. So that's exciting. And I was really shocked. And how I landed that job was I actually had a golfer come to me, well, two golfers. Two golfers came and I embroidered their golf bags. And I even embroidered some golf towels for them. And apparently they went over to, the golf shop, and they talked about what I do and showed some of my work to them. That's why I talk to you guys about the importance of making sure that the stuff you do is crisp and clean. Okay. So they showed my work to the owner of the golf shop over there, and the golf shop owner called me and asked me if I was interested in working for him in embroidering some items for his customers. And I was like, yeah. So so I ended up, I met with him and things just fell into place. So um yeah, so it's I just feel like the universe is just working, it the way it, it's just things are just happening. I mean, so I'm like so super excited because it's like, it's kind of like, I don't know, like things just happen for a reason and stuff like that. So I don't know, I just feel like everything is just falling into place. So, and it's really funny. I I really want to share this story with you guys about the store owner reaching out to me, because if you guys have watched me for quite some time, you guys know that I've always talked about the importance of making sure that your embroidery stitch outs come out really good for your customers, right? And I always talk to you guys about make sure you practice and you practice and you practice and you practice until you got it right. And then you can call yourself a business. And it's not that I'm not saying that, so that you're not making money. What I'm saying is that when you start a business, you want to be successful. You don't want to start a business and then have issues, right? And the way to be successful is make sure your skill set is really up to par. So just think about it. What just happened? It's like these are just two random customers that came to me and asked for me to embroider their golf bags and their towels. And, they've been coming to me for quite some time. And they both went to this shop owner and said, hey, I got my items embroidered, and let the owner know who did the actual embroidery. And the owner called me, so think about it. That would not have happened if I did a shoddy job. Okay. If I went and I embroidered those golf bags and those towels, they look like a mess. Okay. There's no way in heck that those two gentlemen would have went to the stone owner, shop owner, and said, hey, you know, look at this work. I mean, there's no way. If anything, I probably would have did embroidery for them one time and then never heard from them again. Now my nose is itchy. So that's just something to think about, okay, and stuff. I mean, I'm talking to you guys from my experience and what I know kind of works. So I know that embroidery can be expensive and everything like that, but the thing is, it does take time to make sure that you excel, okay? And there are lots of times when I am working on a design, and if you guys have watched me in the past, you guys know about that champion jog that I was working on, that embroidery. It took 9 stitches, 9 stitch outs, okay? 9 different tries for me to get that perfect, using different digitizers for me to get that logo perfect. So just know it's not an easy gig. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of work, a lot of skills, but you can do it, and it pays off. It really does pay off when you set your mind to really do good quality work. People do take notice of that, and they do appreciate that, and that's really what's going to set you apart from the others. Okay, anybody can turn on a machine and embroider someone's name on it, but can you do it well? Okay, that's the question. So, just something to keep in mind and stuff like that. So I see Bob hit it first again. It's always a race. Hey Jackie, hey Bob. Hi Becky, I see Tina, Elizabeth, hey Jenny, Hey, Judy Bauer, how you doing? Renee, so it seems. Hey, Nancy, my sister is on here. That's my sister. And if you guys don't know, her channel is Gifts HQ, and she does Saturday Crafternoon and stuff. And she's going to be getting sick of me really soon because now that I'm retired, I'm going to be visiting her a lot. So she's probably going to be one of those that will probably have my face on her front door with a circle and a cross on it going, stop coming over. So get ready, Nancy. I am going to be heading your way soon. Hey, Iris, how you doing? I see Letitia in the house. How are you doing? Hey, Cynthia, how are you? Hey, Leanne, how are you? I see Leslie. That was enough for me to click immediately. Thank you, Jeanette. Hey, Leslie, how you doing? Hey, Pretty Eyes, how are you? And Pretty Eyes, I think you live close to my mom. So when I am in Florida, we got to get together, at least have lunch or something, because I think you're by Homestead or something like that. We got to get together. Hey, Leslie, how you doing? Robin from Maryland. Hey, Sweet Prey, how are you? Hey, Marlene, glad to be here working on a client napkins and listen to the chat and Jeanette. Oh my God, good for you, Marlene. You really are kicking it out of the park. I'm telling you, you are doing so good. So proud of you. You're doing really, really well. And I know you're still doing those craft shows and all that kind of stuff and everything. So that's awesome. Nancy's early too. Must be good news. Yeah. Let's see. Who else we got? Hey, Cynthia, how are you? Thank you. So excited. Thank you. Hey, Pearl, how are you? How you doing? I had a feeling that was going to be your announcement. Iris, yes, at the door. I am gone. That's it. Yeah, new chapter in a new life. Yep. Hey, Lady Fair, how are you? Thank you so much. Hey, McFake, how you doing? Hey, Lady Gwen, how are you? Thank you. Appreciate it. Don't be afraid. You'll be very busy with your business, and we are so fortunate to have you beside us here at gym. Oh, thank you, Marlene. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm early today. I took the day off to take my son to an appointment. It was nice to have some time, even though it was in a waiting room for most of the day. Oh, for Herman. But you got a day off, Nancy. That's a good thing. Let's see. Hey, Eleanor, how are you? I knew it. So happy for you. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm on a fixed income. Oh my goodness. And you know what's so funny is me and my coworkers, we all decided, because we all get along so well. And we really, we fight, but we love each other and stuff. We decided that once a month we're gonna meet somewhere. We're gonna get together, we're gonna meet somewhere. So last month we went to a winery. And oh my God, we had such a great time. And we played, I don't know if you guys know this game, left, right, center. We played that with some singles and we had a ball. I mean, we had a ball. So it's gonna be like so cool. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm like so super excited. New life. Oh, Jackie, thank you. New chapter in your life. Grab it with both hands. I sure am, Iris. I am grabbing that. Hey, Brenda, if this is God moving with your job, say thank you, Lord. I am. I am so happy. I am so happy. It's simply meant that it's really good if you're here early. Sister supporting sister here. Oh, thank you, Leslie. Appreciate that. Oh, Marty says, I still miss my job with the Institute of America in High New York. Love that job. Yeah, it is kind of hard when you really love what you do. It is. But you know what? But that's the thing, though. I feel like I am fortunate in that way because there's so many people that like they've had jobs that they like hated, right? And I will say, I had my moments. Everyone does. Everyone, you're gonna have your good and your bad days, and you're gonna have people that you work with. I mean, my coworkers sometimes laugh because I'm like, ooh, they gotta pay me to hang out with that person. If it's not a check, I can't hang with them. Okay, you gotta pay me. Okay, literally pay me to be in the same room with some folks. But there are other folks, like the folk, like my coworkers that I like to hang out with, that we go to wineries and stuff. I love them. I don't mind hanging out with them for free because they're fun, they're energetic, and such positive attitudes, and they just enjoy life. They really do, and I love that. I love that, and I that's usually how I like to pick my friends. You know, and it's not that, I'm not saying that you can't come to me and say, oh, Jeanette, I'm having a rough time, and you talk or whatever. I'm not saying that. But because, friends, you're supposed to be there for each other, right? And you're going to have your good days and your bad days. Everybody does. I have them myself. You guys see them. But it's just, I like to be around people that really, even when they have their down days, they know that it's just temporary, and they're going to bounce back. They're going to bounce back, and they're just going to make the best out of every situation. And there are times when you could be at like really bad situation, and then that situation just ended up being the biggest blessing you ever could have gotten, not knowing it. It's just because life had different plans for you. You wanted to turn left so bad because that's where you wanted to go, and life just made you turn right. And before you know it, it's like when you turned right, it was just a bigger blessing. It was something like, wow, now I'm like so super duper happy, and I can't believe that I wanted that in the past. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, life is different. It's strange, but I always feel like, you know, you just have to, uh the way I see it is, you just have to do the best with what you got. Make the best decisions. But I always like, I remember once I had a conversation with my sister, and I told her, I said, I know sometimes people may think that I'm like a selfish person, but it's not that. It's just that I feel like I need to put myself first, because if I don't put myself first, who's going to take care of me? And if I don't take care of me, I can't take care of you. And I've always felt that way. I always felt like you have to make sure that, um, you know, that you, I don't know, it's like, uh, I don't know, maybe, and it could be that maybe I'm a little rough on some edges, because like with me, it's like when somebody comes out and says, I don't like you, I'm kind of like, so you don't have to like me. I mean, it's like I told my son, like I remember once he was a little hurt because someone didn't like him when he was young. And I told him, I said, life's about choices. People don't have to like everybody. Different personalities gravitate to different people, and that's okay. But you just have to be comfortable with that. And you have to know that it's okay for not everyone to like you. It's kind of like I have this channel, right? It may not be for everybody. Some people may come out and go, oh, she talks too much, or she does this, she that. That's fine. Lots of channels out there. Knock yourself out. There's no hurt me. I created this channel for me, actually. I did it because I wanted something um, to express myself in. And I also felt like it's a way that I could kind of contribute back to society as well. It's something that I love doing, and I wanted to teach, because I always thought to myself, what if there's someone out there that wants to learn this, but sometimes people can't afford a class, okay? Because sometimes people say, oh, learn how to do this, but then you got to click on this link and you got to pay $200 or $300 or whatever for a class, right? I'm not asking for any money. The money that I get comes from YouTube, okay? That's what the commercials are all about, okay? So that way I get the whatever money from them. I don't like to charge people just to teach. And I've had people come to me and say, hey, do you give private lessons? No, I'm not. I don't want to do the private lessons. I don't want to charge people for private lessons. I'm not interested in taking people's money like that. It's like, what do you need to learn? Tell me what you want to learn. Like, I know someone already made a comment and they said, how do you do the lettuce stitch on a serger? So I already got that on my list to do. Okay. Um, you don't have to pay me for it. Just put it in the comments and say, hey, do you have a video on how to do this, how to do that, whatever. I will research it. That's the way for me to learn too. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do a video on how to do a lettuce stitch using a serger and show you guys how to do it. I mean, it's really simple. It's not hard and everything, but I was kind of like, I can teach you how to do that. I can show you how to do it. All you got to do is click on a link and you watch it for free because YouTube is free. Okay. So, but not everybody in life is going to, you know, gravitate. So it's not that and I guess I do have, I guess you could call it thick skin in a way. I think my job kind of like taught me to have thick skin. We have to have thick skin where we work. If you don't have thick skin, you're just not gonna make it. You're just not, okay? I have briefed and been yelled at, cursed at, you name it, and I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. I gave you the data. Do whatever you want with it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be, you got to know when to care and when not to care. You know, and I always felt like I have to take care of me, and I always will. And I think I also have that temperament because I lived here by myself. I don't have family by me, like I said. It was just me and my son. So I was it. So there was no, I could not be soft, okay? Because I had to make sure that I made good decisions for me, so that I can make sure I could provide well for my son. I could not allow anyone to disturb my home or to, riff-raff. It ain't gonna happen. It just wasn't gonna happen. And I kind of run my embroidery business the same way. I mean, you guys hear me say it all the time, like when I talk about pricing and stuff like that. I'm fair. That's how I look at it. It's my time. I'm the one that has the skill set. I'm the one that has to turn on these machines. I'm the one that's got to stand in front of these things. I'm the one that's paying for the stabilizer and all that kind of stuff and everything. It's me. So I believe in being fair to myself, really fair to myself. I have to, okay? But I also, understand the customer and their side of things. And I want to be fair to them too. So when I price it, I'm being fair to both parties. But the moment that I feel that you're trying to shift shaft me, it ain't gonna happen. It just ain't gonna happen. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with telling a person no. Okay. And they can get mad. And I just look at it as they can get over it. They can get over it. It's fine. There's lots of customers out there. I'm just not going to allow somebody to take advantage of me. I just won't do it. I know some people, they'll flip flop and they'll go, okay, I'll lower the price, whatever. I tell people don't do that because to me, it's like letting someone disrespect you in a way. That's how I kind of feel about it. It's kind of like and I don't want to say a man cheat because women cheat too, okay? But I kind of look at it like this, okay? You're dating someone. I don't care who you are, man, woman, whatever. Or you're dating somebody. They cheat on you. And you busted them, okay? You think they're not going to do it again? Really? You know, you got to respect yourself. You got to come out and say, no, I am not going to allow you to treat me this way. And that's kind of how I feel. I gave you a price that's fair. Why would I allow you to devalue my work, my time, the supplies and everything? I'm not having it. It's just not going to happen. Wrong embroiderer, you're going to have to go find someone else because this ain't going to happen here. So that's just how, it's just me. I mean, I am kind of very, very direct, I will say. People have told me that at work all the time. They're like, I mean, people know if you need someone to lie, you don't want to come to me. Okay. And if you want if you want me to tell you what you want to hear, it ain't gonna happen because I'm gonna be telling you what I see, from my point of view. This is what I see going on. And if you don't want to hear it, don't ask. But anyway, I don't know why I went that rampage, but anyway, let me keep going down and say hi to you guys. Hey, crafty Puerto Rican, how you doing? Um, hey, my 60 cents, how are you? Hey, Debbie White, how are you? Hi, Pearl. Oh, not try not let retiring stress you. It's supposed to be happy time because it's a new chapter and you'll be happy about the blessings and opportunities God has for you. Don't let fear take the joy. I got you, Pearl. It won't. I'm just a little nervous, because it is. It's a different lifestyle. Now I have to make sure I budget right and all that kind of stuff. And then I want to make sure that um, that I plan my days correctly and stuff like that. That's why I'm trying to do a lot of research about, listening to other retirees and their advice on what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and stuff like that. It's a big change in your life. It really is, because you're no longer getting up and going to work every day and stuff. So it's going to be a really, really big change. But I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be exciting and stuff. And I know I'm going to be fine, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um, oh my God. Yep. Your she shed. It will be. It's my she shed. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. I know I'm a member. I'm a member of the retirement club. Ain't that cool? I'm a member now. I'm going to have to go fill out an AARP card. I know I've been getting those things in the mail and I've been throwing them out, but I think I'm gonna have to sign up. I want a membership now. I do. I want a membership. I heard you get discounts with those things too. Um, it must be because spring is in the air. I have a few changes I plan to announce tomorrow. So there's a lot of changes on the way. Okay, looks like our family is hot. We're hot, Nancy. Okay, so the family is on a roll. Okay. See, and then this is the thing that Nancy. Okay, guys. She don't tell me crap. I learn stuff when you learn stuff. You would think that she would at least give me a little bit of a hint, but nope. But I know why, because she knows I got a big mouth. I do. I have a big mouth. Okay. Just like her little music and stuff. She kept that thing quiet. I heard it when you guys heard it. But the thing is, I would have been like, oh my God, I got something to tell you. She knows I do have a big mouth. I can't keep a secret. That's for sure. Exciting news. I love it. And all positive. That's what I love too. Um, do you have a yard? You can build it. I do like a large garage. I wish I could. I wish I could, Bob. But the thing is, where I live in this community, HOA, okay? They tell you everything that you can't do with your house, which is like the HOA is like a love and hate relationship between them and the residents. We love them because they make sure that the community stays intact and everything looks good. And they do that, I will tell you. However, whenever you want to make some type of modification, you got to look at that Bible that they have that tells you what you can and cannot do. Okay, and it's just like, so I wish I could. And as for the yard, unfortunately, when we were first looking at homes here, we had put money on a particular home and it had a big yard. It was a huge house. The problem is I didn't want a big house. It's like I wanted it, but I didn't want it. I felt like we were walking into a church. I was just like, it's all the echoing and all that. It was way too big. And then I saw the ones that we're in now, and they're called like village homes. And I love the wraparound porch. That's really what got me, the nice wraparound porch. And it didn't really have that much of a yard. I have a yard, but it's not that big. But I just felt like it was a little, it was big but not huge. and it was cozy where, it fit our lifestyle pretty well. I didn't want a house where I had all this extra space and the space wasn't being used, because then to me it was like that was wasted space in a way. So, but I wish, it's kind of funny because then after we moved in, then now it's kind of like I kind of wish we did go bigger, but it's okay. I mean, we're gonna make it work. But yeah, I wish I did. So I think maybe, I don't know. I'm just toying with the idea. Maybe buy like a little house somewhere or something. I'm just toying with it. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably look around and see what I can find and stuff. Um, hey Peggy, how are you? How you doing? Um, I truly believe you to be just fine. You like to stay busy. I do. I love staying busy. I love it. Um, I sat down and figured out I can retire at age 95 for 11 days. Oh my goodness. No, I always did want to retire young. I did. I mean, I had been planning for retirement from like day one and stuff. I really have. Hey Leslie, how you doing? Welcome to the club. Yes, Leslie. And we can hang out, Leslie, because I'm going to be retired. Oh my goodness. Hoping to retire next year. I know. I'll know when the time is right. You do. You do know when the time is right. It can be scary and exciting at the same time. Walk by faith. How you doing? Thank you. Oh, I retired last year and love it. You'll adjust and it'll be okay. Hey, Charmaine. Oh my God, I'm excited. Um, let's see. Oh, I'm sure that your dad understood all of that. He was very proud of you. He was. I know he was. Um, you know, I just kind of like wished, that yeah, I just wish he was here and stuff, because I don't know. I mean, I will say, through my whole career, um, so my dad like loved hearing about it, and I've worked with all different branches. So he would, I work with armies, Marine, Air Force, Navy, all of them, but the Coast Guard. I don't know why. I just didn't go there. But yeah, I as he, I just love talking to him about it and stuff. And yeah, that's the only thing that's the thing that I think is hard. That's why, I was like, I don't want anything, because I really wanted him there, his presence, and yeah. But I will say I can't wait to visit him and just you know, sit with him in his grave, where he's buried, and just talk to him and let him know, you know, and stuff. But yeah, but that's the only downfall. That's the only thing. Your dad's smiling down. He's healed, very proud of you. I know. I know. He is. Dad's smiling down at you. Yeah. Uh, oh, you guys gonna get me teary eyed. Oh, she will be. There you go. I got mommy's. Because if my mom, because sometimes my mom would just watch me on my embroidery happy hour, and if I get her age wrong, oh, when I go to Florida, boy, she's gonna hit me with that chancleta. And for you guys that don't know, it's the slipper. Chancleta is the slipper. And yeah, mom used to hit me and Nancy with the chancleta. And if we were really bad, she took out the belt. Let me tell you. So she could be 87, but that is one feisty lady. Me and Nancy are still scared of her. We are. She put the fear in her daughters, boy. Yep. He's looking down, big smile, proud of you. Keep your chin up. Thank you, Nettie. Wow, 87. Yep, 87. Mom's going to be 87. And let me tell you, very energetic. My mom is very energetic. But you know what's so funny? Me and my sister were talking about this the other day. She eats her, because I was telling her that I had to really change how I eat. And, we're Puerto Rican. So my mom used to serve the food and she had to cover the whole plate, right? I don't know what it is. I guess that's just how they serve, right? The white rice, the beef stew, the avocado, and a little bit of lettuce. Mom used to put a little bit of lettuce because she used to put rice, all that stuff, the pernil, the pork, all that stuff. Fry everything. But it's so funny because I told Nancy, I said, if I remember correctly, Mom used to feed all of us, me, my sister, my dad, when I was growing up. And then she would have herself a little plate with vegetables on it. So it's like she was trying to kill us off. I was like, that lady is a trip. But she does. She eats healthy. My mom eats healthy, and I noticed she eats small meals too. She doesn't, she never takes a big plate of food and puts it in front of her. Now she'll put the big plate of food in front of you, but she ain't gonna put it in front of herself. Which, you know what? I'm gonna call her out on that when I go over there in Florida. I'm gonna call her out. When she serves me, I'm gonna be like, "How come my plate's so much bigger than yours?" And I'm gonna swap the plates. But I know what's gonna happen. She's gonna hit me with a slipper. That's probably what's gonna happen. But yeah. Yeah, in October, she's gonna be 87 years old. So you know what's gonna happen. October, I'm gonna have to drive down to Florida because I gotta be there for her birthday too. Because that way I don't have to miss anything. I don't have to miss birthdays. I don't have to miss holidays anymore. I don't have to miss anything with family. I really don't. I can actually be with family. It was special too. Like last year, my sister, because she's really busy. She has a really busy, hectic life. But last year, she actually spent the weekend with me. She actually flew down here and spent the weekend with me, and we went to Sewing and Quilt. That weekend meant everything to me because I was like, oh my god, we never had like a sister time. I mean, we did at one time. We went to Florida when we were young, right? But that was, I think I was still in college and stuff. Nancy was in high school. I don't know. We were real young. But since then, we had never had like time together. And it was like so cool because it was like I got to spend time with my sister. And that meant a lot. And now that I'm retired, we can have more sister time. Okay, now I'll probably get on her nerves and she'll probably tell me, okay, Jeanette, you gotta go. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll tell her, I'll go. I'll be back tomorrow if you open the door. She may not open the door and I'll probably be at the window knocking. Hi, I'm still out here, So I'll probably get on her nerves. You never know. So yeah. Oh, my husband retired past, and I did last year. We just purchased a condo in Baltimore. We love it. We moved last week. Our townhouse will be going on sale next week. Oh my God, you got a condo. Oh, girl, we got to get back together. Because now I'm retired. I have nothing but time. So we can hang out. Oh my God. Isn't that something? Oh my goodness. Retirement is time to spend with family. It is. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Don't get property with an HOA or co. The general rules about operating a business out of them. If you can build in your own yard, maybe at least a garage or a barn from someone else. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at different options, Debbie. It's just something that I was thinking about, because the thing is, I just don't want to rent. I really don't want to rent and stuff like that because I don't want to, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I mean, hey, life's an adventure, right? So I'm just going to enjoy everything, and make, it'll all work out at the end. Parents did an amazing job. Oh, I'm really mad. Thank you, Leslie. You know what? Me and Nancy, as we really did have some awesome parents. We really did. We lucked out. We lucked out. And it's funny because sometimes, like, when you think about it, like, I have to admit, Nancy was the good kid. I was a child from hell because I will tell you, my mom worried about me because I was like very, very vocal, very energetic, and I was a true handful. She worried. She was like, she looked at Nancy and she was like, oh, because Nancy brought home straight A's. But see, what happened was I had a learning disability, and my parents didn't know because back then they didn't really know about learning disabilities back then, right? Because I had auditory dyslexic. So reading was very difficult for me. And sometimes I don't hear things correctly, right? I don't process information correctly. So it takes me a little while. So, when I went to school, I wasn't really like the best student, but when I got something, I got it for life. Um, but my parents didn't know, and they didn't have any way of knowing. Back then they didn't test anybody for anything and stuff. I found out about my disability when I was in college, because a professor saw it in me, and he was like, let's get you tested. And I got tested, and that's when the lights all went up, and they were like, you have a disability. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm arguing with them, because I didn't want that, because I felt like when people learn that you have a learning disability, you become labeled. And when you become labeled, it's kind of like they don't expect much from you because they don't think that you're smart or you can't do anything. And I didn't want that stigma. And even people at my job did not know about my learning disability. They did know in the beginning, because that's how I got my job, because I was part of the president's committee with the people with disabilities. And I actually gave speeches about working for the federal government as a person with disability. So, and I helped other students with disabilities, as well, you know, learn about working for the federal government and all that kind of stuff, and using your talents and all that stuff. So, but the thing is, as I started to progress in my career, I didn't want people to know, about it. Even like at my last job, um, you know, I I sometimes, I don't know. I guess it's just something that doesn't go away. It's like at my time when you had a disability, a learning disability, people kind of labeled you like, oh, she's retarded or slow and stuff like that. And what happens is you're not provided the same opportunities as other people, because they're not going to even bother with you, because they think that you're going to be too difficult to work with, or you're just not going to understand, or you're just not going to get it and stuff. So what I would do is I would just, I kind of hid it, and I never said anything. And when I went to a new job, I didn't disclose that. I didn't want them to know, until if something happened where I couldn't hide it anymore, then I would let my supervisor know. But I knew the supervisor could not tell other people about it. And they would just have to work with me, because, you have rights. So, but yeah, so, but they did a really, really good job. I totally agree with you, Leslie. I mean, me and Nancy were so fortunate. They taught us how to work hard. They taught us to be brave, to stick up for ourselves, and really go for those dreams. And yeah, we were very, 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 very lucky. We really were and stuff. Let's see. Always got to look at those restrictions and zoning. Yep, I know, Lady Fair. I know. That's why I'm kind of like, ugh, I don't know. So that's why I'm like, I'm just going to toy with the idea, see what I can find out there. I do have a good friend that's a realtor, and I'm going to talk to him about it too, to see what his thoughts are, just to see, and stuff. Hey, Bernardino, how you doing? Um, HOAs can really hold you back. They can. They can. I moved to Virginia 3 years ago from North Carolina. I think it's best for me and my hubbies ever did. I gotta tell you, I do love the state of Virginia. I do love living here. We have thought about moving maybe to another state or something like that, but I kind of like it here. I really love our home. I have a lot of friends and family here. I just don't. I think I'm gonna die in this house. Let's just say that. I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm good with it. Being retired has pros and cons. Last night I couldn't sleep, so this morning I woke up at 10 o'clock. But you know what? You weren't going to get in trouble if you showed up late. Because where I work right now, oh my God. It's like you got to be there on time or you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. Because, yep, we work for one of those. Oh my God. Let's see. Sometimes it's scary at first, but wouldn't change it for sure. I'm excited. I am. You know, love retirement. You and Fred can plan, get together with us. Yes, definitely. Hey, Allison, how are you? How you doing? Thank you. Come to Florida so we can meet. I will, Pretty Eyes. I will. We got to get together. Because I think you said you live close to my mom. I would love to have lunch with you or meet up for dinner or something. Would you move, say, to Florida? No, Florida is really not my thing. I don't like the heat that much. I have to tell you, I love the changes of the weather, and I love the snow. I do. I love the snow. I know some people don't like it, but I love it. I love to sit on my front porch and watch it come down, and look out the window and just see the flurries. I love the changes of the season. I really do. I really do. So in Florida, I just can't do it. Can't do it. Congratulations. I retired the July 3rd and I'm having some of the same feelings. Hey, D-Book. Oh my God. Congratulations. Before you know it, July's going to be here. July's going to be here. And you're going to be like me. I don't know what to do myself. This is like so cool. I'm telling you, it is. Oh my God. Retirement is like, yes. Oh, I'm excited. Oh yeah. Oh, Pretty Eyes. Yeah, I know he is. 25 years. Oh my God. Thank you for your service, Debbie. And don't ever feel guilty for missing family events. You did the best you could. You didn't miss because you didn't want to go. Your family knows that. Yeah. I mean, there were so many times when my leave got denied and I just, it sucked. It really, really sucked. You know, and especially during the holiday season, that's when really I hated it. But it happens, you know, and stuff. So yeah. But hey McFay, ready for the road trip? Yes. Oh my God, another one. Hey Arlene, how you doing? Let's see. Oh, can you do? No, I can't do an addition. We can't modify the structure of the home. HOA rules. Can't do it. Police officer. I was with the NYU in Brooklyn. Oh my God, Iris taking the 911 calls. That must have been an interesting career, Iris, doing that. Oh my God. And I bet you it was probably stressful at times too and stuff. I told him I do the same thing. You're paying for someone else's dream by renting a house. Yeah, and that's why I feel like the time for renting is over. And I tell Card, I told Cardito, you're welcome to stay here as long as you want. When you leave this home, I really would love to see you move from here to a home of your own. I don't want him renting. I don't want him putting that, because that's money that he could be putting in the bank for himself. That's how I kind of look at it. Yeah, so I was there when the plane hit the towers. Oh, Iris, you know what? I was at the Pentagon when the plane hit the Pentagon, and I actually am. I'm a 9/11 survivor. I was actually in the building. It is something that I will never forget. I will never forget it and stuff. And it's kind of hard too for some people to understand too, because I was in it. I was there. So it was very, very scary. But if anything, and I remember 1 year after that, my mom and dad came to Virginia, and we had a ceremony at the Pentagon because they rebuilt the part of the building that was hit by the plane. And DOD was very like focused to get that rebuilt 1 year at the 1 year anniversary, and they did it. And then I volunteered, and my mom and dad came, and we were there at the cutting ceremony and all that kind of stuff and everything. And I remember my dad kept everything, hit the program and all that stuff. And President Bush was there and stuff. And yeah, it was scary. It was a scary time, Iris. That was a really scary time. And it's funny because when 9/11 hits, I always have that moment of silence. And I even lost some coworkers that day also. So it's life changing when that happened. And I think that made me more dedicated to my career when that happened. you know some people quit because they just couldn't go back, but I was just more determined. So I don't know, I took the opposite effect, and stuff. um your dad will be with you. He will have the best seat right beside you. He wants you to have the retirement ceremony. You earned it. Celebrate it. I'll think about it. I mean, I don't know. Eh, Nancy, maybe I bumped into him at the food court. um, let's see. Gonna go down. Oh, I can teach you how to use Embroidery if you want. I'm considering opening consultations. Oh, that would be awesome. Oh, Bob, definitely. I would take you up on that because I would love to learn that. Oh my God. Yep. Um, let's see. I'm gonna go down a little bit. Let's see. You can be in your own storefront, being a greeter, go behind the counter, be the cashier, get in the car, and be the delivery. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know if I will take a part-time job. It's just something that I thought about. I could work at Michael's. Get that discount. Um, oh, just a suggestion to any of the new retirees, because you will wonder how in the world you work full time and did the embroidery along with it. I had somebody say that. I remember a lady once came out and said, ever since I retired, I have been so busy that I don't even know how the hell I found time to actually work. And I was like, really? But I think I might end up like that. I don't know. Enjoy retirement. It's the best. Oh my God. I just can't believe that. It's actually like I'm retired. Oh my God. From the business I see you do now, I think you'll do well retired. Now that you can fill your schedule, I know you never worry about not having anything to do. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. It's like now you're right, Bob. I'll have more time to take more orders as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. You have great memories of your dad. I do. I do. He was such an awesome father. He really was. And it's funny because it's like he wasn't much of a talker, but when he did speak, um, you listened because what he said was pretty important and stuff. So he was really, I was so fortunate. And I'm fortunate with my mom too. I mean, even though, I like to joke with her and mess with her. And I will say my dad would give me a look because I would just start a fight with her. She would say left and I'll say right just to get her blood boiling. And, and my dad would give me that look like, Jeanette, leave your mom alone, because he knew that it was just me messing with her. So I don't know. But yeah, can't wait to see her. Um We're family, Jeanette. Want to share your big news, celebrate. So thank you. Can't wait to see you. I'm telling you, and I know what's gonna happen. Nancy's gonna put me to work. Nancy's gonna put me to work because I can go over there and I can help her. That's what I'm excited about. Ooh, man. Oh, better hurry up because the mango tree is bursting. My mom has a mango tree. So you know what? As soon as I get over there, I'm gonna grab me a mango. You best believe I'm gonna be eating that. Oh yeah. Don't touch any of your retirement. You're too young. There will be penalties. No, Debbie, actually they won't. But I'm not gonna touch it because I really don't need the money. I'm gonna be fine with the pension and stuff. But I did find out that I could, as long as you are retired from federal service, you can withdraw at 55, and I'm 57, so I'll be fine, but I'm not touching it. I plan on having that money there for my son. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that that's money that he can inherit, hopefully. But you know what? It is my money because I'm still alive. Okay, I'm not dead yet. Okay, so if I need it, I will get it. But yeah. But no, I did look into that for federal government employees. If you are 55 and you retired, you don't have that penalty. I looked into that. I did because I was kind of like, oh, okay. So if I retire now and something happens, because I'll be okay. But you always want to make sure you know all the rules and all that kind of stuff, and everything. Now, I don't think I could touch my Roth IRA. I think the Roth IRA, I do have to wait for 59 and a half. But that's okay. I don't plan on touching that anyway, so it'll be fine, you know. Um, yeah. But oh yeah, I gotta get some of those mangoes and stuff. Jenny says 60 still working. I'm so ready to retire and stay home. Have to wait till I'm 65, and it's so worth it. Jenny, I have a coworker who is retiring at 66. She turned 67, I think, in October or September, something like that. No, I think she turned 67 in September. I think so. Yeah. So she's 67. She worked all the way to 67. And she wasn't even thinking about retiring at 67. It's just that because when this opportunity came, she started thinking about it. And then she was like, wait a minute, why am I still here? I don't know if she wanted to work till 71 or something like that. But there are a lot of people that I work with that are 60. My husband worked till 62. And there are still people at my job that 67, stuff like that, still working, there was one guy, 71, still there, but he loves what he does. He loves what he does. And I think what's sad too is what happens with us in our careers is that we're so involved in what we do that the people that we work with end up becoming the family, and we've been away from our families for so long that sometimes the relationships just don't rematerialize, and stuff. But I'm fortunate that I didn't piss off my family so much that I think they still love me. I don't know. They open the door when I visit, so I guess so. They let me in, so we'll see. Look into the Silver Sneakers program. It may be included with your health insurance that offers free access to. Oh, my mom does it. I'm gonna look into that then. I'm gonna look into that because I use TRICARE, which is like the military health, but I'm sure they have to have something like that. So I'm gonna look into that and stuff. Yeah, you're right. Because I know USAA has these perks too, and you can join gyms that are at a lower rate and stuff. You're right. I could do that. I gotta look into that. All right. So Nancy's going night and stuff. Hey, Erica. This is one of my coworkers that she already left. She said bye-bye. I can't wait to see you again, Erica. And stuff. Oh my God. Woohoo! Yes, life has changed. It sure is. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful, Erica. It's wonderful. You better be working on those cups, girl. I'm telling you, you better be working on those cups. And we got to get together because I want to have Erica on the live with me one day so you guys can see what she does, because she does these amazing cups. I mean, they're gorgeous. When I went to help her at her craft fair in Manassas, every cup that I took out to put on the table, I was like, oh, this is cute. This is cute. Oh, this is really cute. Oh, this is really nice. Oh, you made this? I was just like, I mean, I want you guys to see her stuff because she is really, really, really good. I mean, it's like, whoa. So it's like, I mean, her life has been changing too. And oh, I can't wait to see her. I can't wait to see her and stuff. And I can't wait to have her on the live, guys, because she's, I'm gonna work on her. I am gonna work on her. I'm going to get her on this show. Even if I have to go to her house to get her on this show, we're gonna do it. We are gonna do it. When I had my kids, my parents didn't live nearby, so I had no help. Both of my kids and I lived in the same town, so I can help out. And I did get to see them a couple of weeks. It is hard. It's really, really hard when you're raising with no family around. It really, really is. Let's see. Hey, Miss McQueen, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, Miss Masters, how you doing? Love the freedom. I know it's freedom. Freedom. I'm telling you. Feel like I'm breaking out of jail. Well, not really, but it's kind of like that in a way. Oh my God. All right, guys. It will go the way it's supposed to. Haven't been wrong yet. Yes. Erica's been my cheerleader. I'm telling you. She has. I kept telling her, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think they're going to deny me. I think she was like, nope, you got this, Jeanette. You got this. You got this. They're not going to say no to you. She kept pushing me. She kept pushing me. Oh my God. I'm so happy that she kept me sane. Erica kept me sane. She always kept me sane. Even when I was writing my memo, she kept me sane. She always used to tell me, I'm going to take away that shift key from you, the caps lock key. The caps lock keys got to be removed from her keyboard because everything is cap locks when it comes to Jeanette and those memos, which was true. I was addicted to the cap lock key, So I always thought that one day I was going to come to work. She was going to pop that button off my keyboard. I always thought that. It was like, oh my God. When you really think about it, this is the first time in your life you get to call the shots on your terms. I know. It's like, oh. And then spend little time to love yourself. Love the Florida idea with Mom. Love Christmas in July last year. Yep, we got to do it again. We definitely have to do it again. Are you going to take Fred and Mello with you? I am definitely going to take Mello with me, okay? Because if I don't take Mello with me, my mom will be pissed because my mom actually loves Mello. She just loves the dog. So, and Fred probably he might come and stuff. He's kind of like a homebody and stuff like that. So he may come. He ain't got nothing else to do. He retired too. So he might as well jump in the car and just enjoy the ride, So we'll see. Review the things you recommend in your embroidery room. And that's good to replicate for Florida. You know what? You're right. Yeah, I'll probably review that same video and stuff. Hey, happy housewife, how you doing? Ooh, I hear it raining outside and stuff. Let's see. Let's see. I want to go down. Hey, Miss Rivera, how are you? I took a multi-needle class from a lady that embroiders the presidential seal on golf courses at Margargo. Oh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Bet you she was telling you got to be really careful. She probably slowed down that machine too to make sure them stitches were perfect. Definitely be cool. Oh, that would definitely be cool so that you can learn really good advice. Oh yeah. Choose life safety. I've learned to choose life. Aw. I love the videos, especially when you show us things like how to embroider on the golf bag, not your usual subrat. Oh, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Oh my goodness. Teach us how to be happy after retirement. I bet you can teach that. I probably will. Maybe I should do another channel on that. And so be like, oh, retired, guess what I'm doing today? We're playing bingo. Oh my God. Um, let's see, going down. Um, my favorite time, getting up, taking all my pets out, sitting on my patio and watching my iPad. That's Carlito's been doing. Um, just had a disagreement with my adult son who lives with me. Want to donate my husband's car. My son is not ready to let go. My husband died 2 years ago. Very well. And I understand that, my sister and we both, my dad always had two cars his whole life, right? And it took us a year for my sister and I to be able to drive his cars. So I totally understand Mary Rose about that, because it was like dad passed, two brand new cars in the garage for a whole year. My mom kept telling my sister, get it, get it, get it. And Nancy, I think Nancy wanted to hold up because it's hard. It's really hard. But I wanted it. And I think the reason why was because I needed something to feel close to my dad. Right. So my sister didn't want to do it because she felt like it was like the final like thing. So it was like letting go. And then for me, it was like to hold on. So it's kind of similar to like, I guess, what you and your son are going through. Because, I got my dad's Passat and then Nancy got my dad's I don't know, it's called tacos. I think it's tacos or Tahoe, something like that. He was a Volkswagen guy. And but it was hard. And it was funny because when I got the license plate and everything, and I flew down to Florida and I got in my dad's car and I took it to the dealership and I had them fix it because I was going to drive it back to Virginia. And I will tell you, it was very difficult for me to drive the car back to Virginia because while driving, all I could think of was my dad sitting next to me. Um, and I was touching the steering wheel, and I kept thinking about that's the steering wheel he touched. That was his seat. That was his car, and it's hard. It really is hard when someone's so close that means so much to you passes. It's really hard because something that it's just the material stuff too, and it's kind of funny because it's like to anybody else it would be a car, right? To me, it's my dad's car. Even as today, my dad has passed away. It's been 2 years, right? It's going to be 2 years soon, and it's still his car. And even the license plate I put on his car says "De Papi," dad's car. And I have his picture when he first went to pick it up, and I even did a pose the same way like my dad. And it's hard. It is hard. It's hard. So Mary Rose, I understand. Believe me, I understand. You know, um, and stuff. But it'll pass. It'll pass. It's just really difficult. And stuff. And even I have my dad's shirts, and I want to do memory pillows. And I take out his shirts, and you have to cut the shirts to make the memory pillows. And when I take the scissors and I go to cut the shirt, what I end up doing is I put the scissors down and I take the shirt and I hang it back in my closet because I'm not ready to cut the shirt. So and then it's funny because I'll take Fred's shirt and I'll cut it, which she kind of gives me that look like, you having a problem cutting my shirt? And it's, but he's still here, so it's nothing. I could buy more shirts. But yeah. So I totally got it. You know, it's hard. It really is. Um, so your husband died 2 years ago in 2023. That's when my dad died. My dad passed away June 5th, 2023. Um, yeah. So I know how hard that is. And stuff. So anyway, I retired too. The only one working here is my C1900. Deborah, I got to call it tonight. My trainer is ready to hurting me tonight. Is Nancy younger than you? Yes. I'm 3 years older than Nancy. She is. She's younger than me. And she's the serious one. She'll tell you. She's always serious, and I'm like, which sometimes she's like, when I lost weight, I learned it's better to waste than to waste it. Use the smaller plates, slower metabolism after 45. Yep. And I heard that people told me, get the small plate, eat off of that. And, yeah. And about the waste, you're right. And especially when you go to restaurants, right? You're paying for this meal and you don't want to not eat it, right? But now this is what I'm doing, Debbie. If I go out to eat, whatever it is that I order, I cut it in half. I tell them to please bring me a box the same time that they bring me the meal. That way I don't feel obligated to eat the whole thing. And it's not all in my face. So as soon as they bring me the plate, I tell them, please bring me the box at the same time. I'll just cut it in half and I put the food away in the box, and then I put it on the side, and then I just focus what's on my plate. Because I feel like restaurants, they overfeed, they don't, they do the same thing. They and I understand, because think about it. If they really did the right portions, then we would be complaining that the food, that you're not getting the right, amount, of food. Then we'll be like, oh, they're so cheap. We're not coming to this restaurant anymore because of all this money, and look at the little bit of food you get. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. Let's see, going down. Awesome. You have used your disabilities as time to become successful. Oh, thank you, McFay. Thank you. When I was in school, you never saw special ed kids in school. It's true. It is true. When you were, they had them in a whole different side of the building. They really did. After I had my kids and helped out classrooms, then worked in districts, when I saw special kids. Yep. I don't understand friends that have retired and are bored. Oh my God, congratulations, Betty. Betty just retired last night. Oh my God, all these new retirees. Oh my God, this is awesome. This is awesome. Maybe I should do a separate channel for the retirees to just hang out and just talk about retirement. Just talk about it. Oh my God, that would be like so cool. Yep. Asking for a friend. How many sheets of water topping do you use on embroidering a towel? Just one sheet. That's all. You just need only one sheet. You don't have to double up or anything like that. Okay. The reason why I only do one sheet though, is because one of the things that you need to pay attention to when you are embroidering on a towel. Remember, towels are pretty thick, right? Stay away from the thin fonts, because what's going to happen is they will sink in. So if you have any type of thin fonts, stay away from them. Use thick fonts for towels, and just one sheet of topper. Then you should be good to go. Okay. I bet Oh my God, Jeanette, I bet you were so scared. I know I cried while watching the news of this awful devastation. Yeah, it was. It was. What is your position? Gut can't say. Can't say, Marsha. Sorry. um, couldn't stop crying during that time. Still pray for those people here that passed on. I get the chills. Yeah. Um. Oh, hubby and I shared a plate, and waitress brings us extra plate, and we can split it. It worked out for our waist and pocketbook. You know what? That is smart. And I wish I could do that. But Fred will never order what I want to eat. He always wants to order what he wants to eat. So it's like, I mean, it's really funny because we're like kind of like opposites. So what ends up happening is I have to cut my food in half, and he's kind of sometimes does the same too. Sometimes he cuts his in half too, and everything, because we're both trying to eat a little bit better. Because you know what happens too is that your stomach gets so full, so it's like you kind of have to retrain your body to just eat less. That's what I kind of feel. So I don't know. I'm trying to go that route, and then hopefully things will get better, and hopefully I'll lose the weight. I have until July. In July, I go for blood work again. So hopefully the blood work will come out good, and I can lose the weight and stuff. We're in April, so I figure I got May, June, and July. So I have 3 months. So if I just lose just 10, 15 pounds in 3 months, I'll be happy. I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm getting there. I'm on a start. So that's why I'm kind of like excited because I'll be able to like, do exercises and all that kind of stuff and everything. So I'm hoping to get back on the roll. And really, my priority is really going to be my health, because I will tell you guys, that's one thing that I've read everywhere. If you don't have your health during retirement, then it's problematic. You know what I'm saying? That means you're really not going to enjoy your retirement at all, because once health issues start to really hit, it's then it just kind of like kind of goes downhill. So I want to enjoy it. I work really, really hard. 56. Now it's time. It's time for me to really enjoy life. That's what I really, really want. So guys, yeah, I just wanted to share this. I know it has nothing really to do with embroidery. I know, but I was just so excited about the news and stuff, and it's happening, guys. It's truly, truly happening, and I could just see that it's gonna just get better. So trust me, and you're gonna see a lot more videos once I am done and I am officially retired. You guys are gonna be seeing a lot more of me, because I'm really going to be able to really enjoy life and really just enjoy what I'm doing and share so much more with you guys, because there's just so much that I want to do. So guys, I am going to tell you guys good night for now. Enjoy your weekend. Please stay dry. In Virginia right now, we're raining, and I think we're going to rain tomorrow as well. But I think Sunday is supposed to be a pretty nice day. So tomorrow, since it's going to be a rainy day, I'll probably be home with these embroidery machines. I got to pump out some orders. I got weddings that are coming up. People are still getting married nowadays, So yeah, so I got some wedding dinner napkins that I have to embroider and stuff. And I do have someone that has a birthday gift that is probably going to stop by tomorrow so that I can embroider the apron. So we'll see. So guys, have a good night, and I hope you enjoyed today's video and the news that I shared with you guys. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next Friday. Okay, so you guys take care, be safe, and happy sewing and happy embroidery. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Bye.